one of the biggest things for me is really understanding, and I'll go back to this, the value of a new customer versus retargeting. I'll give you an example of a client who's doing this in a really great way without naming them. Although if they're listening, they know who they are. So this client said, I'm going to oversimplify it. This client said, this is a lead gen business. So they're looking at a cost per lead, CPL, right? They said, all right, we're doing advertising for them across 14 different channels, but 70 cents of every dollar is between Google and Meta. And so the client says, this is 2 years ago, the client says, the cost per lead in Meta is too high. I want to turn it off. And again, my job isn't to do what the client asks, it's give my best advice and then do what the client asks. So I said, I really don't think you should turn off Meta. Like how are you going to Google something if you don't know what it is? You can't Google something that doesn't exist, that you don't know exists. It's a logical impossibility. I think Meta is feeding the Google searches later. I understand Google has a better cost per lead, and I understand it converts at a better rate downstream, but it's a bottom of the funnel, high intent target. And the client said, yeah, that's cute. You got to turn off Meta.
Okay.
So we turned off Meta. And what happened was the business we looked really smart. Everyone looked really smart for 30 days because all of a sudden we weren't spending on things that was wasteful and wasn't converting. And the cost per lead dropped, which was great. And the conversion rate dropped. The conversion rate rose, which was great. So everything was flashing green in the dashboard. But over time, what happened was sales began to decline. And the reason sales began to decline is because fewer people were Googling them, because fewer people knew what the product was, because they turned off the Instagram that was introducing new people. And so one of the things we coalesced around with them was, and this was learning for me and how to talk about this in a different way, was, okay, you're judging Instagram by the wrong metric. Judging Instagram for driving sales. And I realize there's plenty of businesses that are going to talk about growth hacking and there are awesome Instagram strategies and how they've grown scale 10x every month. I get that, but it's a long time. I think that generally judging Instagram by how many sales it's getting is like judging a fish for how fast it climbed up a tree, which is like ridiculous.